Hello and welcome to this special edition of London Tonight. Our Millennium Eve programme will take you to the capital's key locations with just over 6 hours to go to the year 2000.
The year 2000 was a fever dream. Robbie Williams was there with a song about it. The Millennium Dome was our weird new building before all venues were named after phone companies. The O2 should be the giff-gaff of anything, because that's a superior network.
Engineers risked life and limb to get the cable secured that would hold up the roof. The Prime Minister assuring us the exhibition under it would be the most fantastic day out in the world.
It's a site that caught the imagination of Londoners, a massive engineering project that became a spectator event. Visible from almost every point in London, a monument to mark the millennium.
During this sweet, terrifying new millennium, Tom Jones would soothe us all with a rousing dance track about fucking that would truly act as an explosion within our minds and our collective consciousness in that fateful year. In this video, I'm going to take a stroll through my hazy memories into that crumbly old millennium and ask, dear Tom Jones, what exactly is a sex bomb? And also, why? Why? The 90s. A cultural landscape. Help me. In the year 2000, a new millennium had been born, but we were far from shaking off the lo-fi, raucous moors of the hell that some people call the 1990s. I was 9 years old, fresh off a world of grungy, carry-on-esque chaos by the likes of Denise Van Outen and Chris Evans and whoever else on The Big Breakfast.
Look at the papers in together.
Yeah, that's my favourite paper, that one.
Shall I pull some funny stories out? OK then. A church organist has dropped the dong from Ding Dong Merrily on High in case it brings the steeple tumbling down. No. It's already tottering after being struck by lightning, and vibrations from the low dong note could finish it off.
How many times have the vibrations from the low dong laid people low? I know.
Should we give that a go without the dong?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Ding, merrily on high.
What do you reckon?
It's not the same. It's not the same. I want the dong. I want the dong.
Okay.
And I want it now.
Yeah, OK, the dong's got to come back, otherwise it's not really worth having Christmas at your church.
Just shout anything.
Yes, that's what I do. Join in, love. It's modern and young. Now, come on.
And Chris Evans again on TFI Friday, a kind of early evening equivalent, largely written by broadcaster Danny Baker. Something of a circus master for a certain sort of smorgasbord of wacky broadcaster hijinks. Because in the 1990s, British TV was 8 parts a simulation of being down the pub, and 2 parts Jarvis Cocker Rube Goldberg machine.
This has been the week when the whole of the tabloid press turned against poor little Jarvis. He's off his cocker, said the Sun.
I kind of didn't really know what to do then. So well, I may as well bend over and show me bum, so.
And of course, we also had Noel's house party. Everything on TV was a party, a whirlwind of debauchery and pranks and Mr. Blobby.
Causing mayhem in my home. What's his name?
That was British culture. We had the Spiced Girls, we had Sir Blobby, we had, I don't know, a lot of running around and fisheye lenses and colourful, junky, crunchy kaleidoscopes of tacky faux 60s kitsch and household and supermarket items that are bigger than before. Winking at consumerism like a child with a toy oven winks at meal preparation and the mundanities of domestic life with one of those sets of plastic foods. But how did this bring us the now iconic and transcendent single from Tom Jones? How did we get to Sex Bomb? Tom Jones, The Legacy. Imagine it. It's the year 1999. Tom Jones is almost 60 years old, a legend. He was in Mars Attacks, maybe the best Tim Burton movie. But I love Batman Returns. Danny DeVito as the Penguin impacted my life more deeply than I think I can ever truly express.
You're just jealous because I'm a genuine freak and you have to wear a mask.
You might be right.
But this video isn't about my sweet evil penguin man. After a swerve into the world of country music in the early to mid-80s, and a relative dip in attention, Tom Jones had come back full force in 1987 with charting single A Boy From Nowhere, and was given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1989. He also played Glastonbury for the first time in 1993, and guest starred on both The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and The Simpsons.
When you're feeling blue, what's the one thing that can turn your day around? Tom Jones.
Cementing himself, I guess, literally with the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as a consistent and ever-present piece of pop culture. He hosted the 1994 MTV EMAs and recorded You Can Leave Your Hat On for the soundtrack of 1997's The Full Monty. He was around, and at this point, a veritable cultural icon. He had entered the men behaving badly landscape of the turn of the millennium with a built-in and well-established sexy man persona, combining perfectly with his status as by then iconic but also nostalgic in that wink-wink, nudge-nudge way, slotted into the pop culture environment perfectly.
Tom is a very sexy man, and we're going to show something now. Have you ever seen that program called Question of Sport? Yeah. What they do is they show a bit of VT footage, then they stop it and they say, what happened next? We're going to play the same game with a little bit of your footage, all right? What happens next?
Now, if you practice my method as hard as you can, you gotta get the reputation of a dirty old man. And you can get it tonight, then you cheated her out.
Right, what happens next?
Well, I know what happens next.
Okay, anybody any ideas what happens next? No, nothing to do with Nick, because what happens next is that Tom Jones turns into the sexiest thing God ever created.
Time, naturally, to release an album of duet covers. I'll be doing that soon with Markiplier, of course. This album was named Reload and included his memorable version of Mama Told Me Not to Come, recorded with Stereophonics, and a version of Talking Heads' Burning Down the House, recorded with the Cardigans, which is kind of amazing. But Reload also contained one new original song, a collaboration with German producer Moose T, and this, my friends, was Sex Bomb.
His bomb's for loving, you can shoot it far.
This song was a shining, unabashed, disco-fueled trumpet ode to just really wanting to do sex. This was a gift to welcome civilization into the millennium, to look the millennium straight in the eye and say, yeah, this song is a time capsule all its own. 2000 was really like that. What is a sex bomb? Sex is a weapon, many say. Perhaps the woman who won a paternity suit against Jones in 1989 would agree that she had in some ways been dealt a sex bomb. Fun fact, the judge in this case was my queen, Judge Judith Sheindlin.
Judicial treadmill. She uses a real one in the gym where the machinery never talks back.
Well, regardless, it's hard to listen to the song's insistent proclamations that the listener is indeed a sex grenade or some other airborne sex explosive without being driven to ask the fateful question, what exactly is a sex bomb? Or alternatively, what does a sex bomb represent? Maybe it seems like a fairly transparent and potent metaphor for an agent or object of desire, causing an uncontrollable sexual response, which is affirmed and welcomed by Jones. But the use of weaponry-focused metaphors throughout the song is nevertheless a fascinating insight into the framing of attraction as an assault on the senses, a powerful explosive, ready at any time to detonate. A bomb or explosive, after all, exists to harm you, so is this metaphor a comment on the dangers of sex? even though it seems to willingly invite this danger, a suggestion of the muddying of full agency when experiencing sexual attraction? Is the sex bomb the body of the desired person, or is it really the magnetic sexual force enacted upon the singer, a character of its own? Sex Bomb, as a song, subtly explores the difficult concept of free will against the compulsions of human behavior and relationships. Sex Bomb speaks to the perceived helplessness of its singer, but nevertheless invites this relinquishing of control. Sex Bomb is celebratory in its uncritical acceptance of determinism. The desired character, described explicitly as a weapon, is welcomed and relished. The attack referred to is a symbolic submission to being desired and acted upon with desire by the eager singer. Fate has decreed, sex bomb, you're my sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to come along. So we can see that Sex Bomb presents sexual desire as a type of violence through literal metaphor, but turns it on its head into an expression of excitement and pleasure. The danger and power of the bomb becomes the danger and power of the sex, and thus takes on a flipped meaning, but retains the heightened extreme of the metaphor of weaponry. The sex bomb, as a metaphorical concept, parallels itself in being symbolic of opposing physical experiences. So, what is a sex bomb? Well, it's a metaphorical device that conjures the extreme intensity of, like, wanting to hold hands with someone or something. I don't know. I'm not Lacey Green, okay? Give me a break. I'd like to take a moment now to look upon the sex bomb single art, which appears to depict a safety concern playing out across the recognizable signage for a women's toilet. Perhaps this toilet is for women and also Tom Jones. Let's just look at this in silence for a moment. This cover art quite clearly represents both the inescapable draw of the sex bomb character and the peak of cheeky culture, which is a term I will now be using to describe the decade that The Big Breakfast aired, 1992 to 2002. A dark time. Sex Bomb reached number 3 in the UK singles chart, but really took off in Europe, reaching number 1 in France and Switzerland, but also reaching the top spot of the European Hot 100 singles chart, which aggregated charts from 16 European countries at the time. Thank you, Europe. But truly, it will always have the top spot in my heart. Thank you. This was all an excuse for me to do a cover of Sex Bomb. All of this, that was all I wanted. Incidentally, if you like songs, I'm doing a new thing on Patreon where I'm going to make a song every month. It won't be musically interesting. It'll just be really stupid. But if you're interested in that, that'll be a monthly thing for $5 patrons and up. Oh, by the way, Along Came Jones, amazing album. Please check that out. I mean, we all know it's not unusual and so on, but seriously, that whole album, mwah, mwah.
I've got it in my mind to keep her. I've got it in my mind to hold her tight, oh yeah.
Alright, that's all I have to say about Tom Jones for right now. Bye.
Sex bomb, you're a sex bomb, and you can give it to me when I need to come along. Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb, and baby you can turn me on.
Good evening, it's a big night, but the weather won't be all that special. A lot of damp weather around, some drizzle in the air, and then later on, towards midnight, we will see that rain pepping up. But hopefully, in the middle of town, we should largely escape.
The sauce is quite intense.
Join Richard and Judy and a host of celebs to find out who'll be the first ITV Chef of the Year of the new millennium.
We started this contest with 2,500 chefs, but our judges, and most importantly, thousands of This Morning viewers, whittled that down to just 6 finalists.
6:30 Bank Holiday Monday, ITV.